Cool. So you should probably know how to do a bunch of different types of equations. They're all basically the same thing. These are 5 equations that are sure to get your blood pumping. So get ready because this is going to be some good stuff. I'm going to go through these very, very quick because you should know how to do it. Remember, all we're saying is 2/3 of some number. We're trying to figure out what that number is. So some number minus 6 equals 8. First thing I'm going to do is I want to get the variable by itself, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And the reason why I do that is because -6 and +6 equals 0. I bring down what I have left, which is still 2/3 of that number, is now equal to 14. Because remember, that number was reduced by 6, so if I add 6 to the other side, I now have 14. Now, a lot of people will multiply or divide by 2/3. And that's perfectly fine. Divide by 2/3, divide by 2/3. However, I don't know what 14 divided by 2/3 is. So I'm doing my alternative method. If you want, you're more than welcome to divide by 2/3. Since I don't know what that is, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. And the reason why I can do that, and this is super important, is because 3 times 2 equals 6. 2 times 3 equals 6. So guess what? 6 over 6 is 1, and 1 times anything is itself. And in this case, that anything is our unknown. So now I have 14 times 3 halves. 14 times 3 is 42. Divided by 2 is 21. The other way you can do that is say 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 14 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21. So that's the answer to the first one. I'm going to move over, and now I have parentheses. So same idea. What I'm going to do is very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these parentheses by distributing what's outside the parentheses. I really have 2/3 of some number decreased by 6. So now I have 2/3 of x minus, well, 2/3 times 6. I'm going to do some work over here. 2/3 times 6 is really 2/3 times 6 over 1. Like I said before, you can go 3 goes in 3 once and 3 goes in 6 twice, and so I get 2 times 2 is 4. So this whole thing, 2/3 times a -6 is going to be a -4 plus 5 equals -7. Now, step 2, I'm going to combine like terms, and I get a -4 and a +5 equals a +1. I'm going to get rid of this +1 by adding the opposite. Now it's just a regular 2-step equation. I get 2/3 of x equal to a -7 and a -1 is -8. By the way, if you're ever trying to figure out how to do that, -7 and a -1, think of it as I lost 7 things and I lost another thing. How many things did I lose? I lost 8 things. Once again, from here, you're more than welcome to divide by 2/3. I don't like doing that because, like I said, I don't know what -8 divided by 2/3 is, so I always multiply by the reciprocal. I also don't like using calculators that much. I feel like if you use a calculator, you're more likely to make a mistake because you might press the wrong button and not realize it. So 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, therefore they simplify, they divide out to 1, and now 2 goes into a -8, -4 times. -4 times 3 is -12. All right, so 2 down, 3 to go. This next one I actually like quite a bit. And the reason why is if you think about it in different terms, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this -7 to a -7 over 1. And now a lot of people are like, butterfly method. Sure, whatever. You can cross multiply. And the reason why cross multiplication works is because they are proportional. So 2x minus 6 times 1 is 2x minus 6, and a 3 times a -7 is a -21. Well, once you've done that, it's easy peasy. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to very foolishly use an orange after using red. I'm going to add +6 to -6 because I'm adding out the opposites. So I have 2x equal to -21 plus 6 is a -15. Now I can divide by 2, and I don't mind dividing whole numbers because 2x divided by 2 is just x, equals a negative and a positive is negative. 2 goes in 15 7.5 times. And that's it. Moving right along. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Here's the mamba jamba of all math problems right here. You're so lucky that I'm doing this with you. All right, so what I do when I encounter questions like this is I realize that I don't like the fractions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything by the least common multiple of 2, 5, and 10, which is in this case 10. And I'm going to do this the long way just to illustrate what I'm doing. When I do this, I get 30x over 2 plus 30 over 5 equals 70 over 10. Now the reason why I did that is because now I can say, well, how many times 2 go into 30? It goes in 15 times. So I really have 15x plus how many times 5 go into 30? 5 goes in 6 times. How many times 10 go into 70? 7 times. And now look at this. Our original problem, which looked absolutely horrific, is now just a basic 2-step equation. I'm adding 6, so I'm going to subtract 6. Bring down my 15x equals 1. I don't want 15x's, I just want 1x, so I'm going to divide by 15. And I get x equals 1/15. And that's it. Look how hard that question looked originally, and look how easy it was at the end. I'm almost tempted to do it another way. I'm not going to. All right. Well, maybe I should. Sorry for the digression. So 3/2 x plus 3/5 equals 7/10. I'm sorry, I can't control myself. I really have no self-control. So I'm going to subtract 3/5 first. And when I subtract 3/5 from both sides, I'm still left with my 3.5x. That's going to go away. But now, remember, 7/10 minus 3/5 is the same as 7/10 minus, I need to have a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply by 2, and I get minus 6/10, which gives me 1/10. And now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2 over 3, and multiply by 2 over 3, and I get x equals 20, nope, that's not true, 2, 1 times 2 is 2, over 30, which reduces to 1/15. Same answer either way. Sorry, I had to do it. Like I said, I don't have any self-control. Anyway, last one, super easy. Looks a little bit difficult, but it's not. I have some parentheses, so I'm going to get rid of those parentheses by distributing. 3 times x plus 8, if this is x plus 8, that 3 means I have 3 of them. And what that really means is I have 3x plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24, equals 2x minus 3. I need all of my variables on one side of the equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2 x's to the other side, and that gives me x. I didn't touch this positive 24. That turns to 0, and I have a negative 3. I'm now going to move my constants to the other side, and now I have x equals a negative 27. And that is it. Here is my questions. Here are my questions, I guess I should say. I just did numbers 1, 6, 11, 16, and 22. Anyway, you should be able to do all these problems no problem. There's 25 questions. I just did 5 of them for you. The answers are all there. Give it a go. See how you do. All right. Good luck in high school.